Hi everybody, and welcome to I Like Cruise Ships, the YouTube channel, and welcome to a Sunday live stream. Now, again, as always, this is very unscripted, unscheduled. I am trying to figure out, should I do every Sunday or every Saturday live like this? So what we'll do is we'll chat away to myself. Hopefully someone may join the chat at some point. And hopefully we might even be able to get it shared into a cruise group here and there. So what I'm going to do is just for a few minutes we'll just sort of see if we can get anybody joining in on the live chat, and then what we can do is we can see if we get any questions, and then we'll go from there. So it will probably be about an hour. We'll see how it goes. Now I am in my kitchen here in Moscow, Russia. And we do have some food cooking there for a late night snack. So my wife said she might pop in to the kitchen. Yes, we have a green kitchen and yellow walls. And you can actually see the windows of our, I guess, balcony. This apartment doesn't have like a kind of, they call it a vestibule or a balcony or I don't know what these other words are they're using, but it's got basically an open kitchen. So we're right looking out on the town here. You can just see the lights a little bit off in the distance, but it's a bit hard to see. How are we going, everybody? I hope you're having a nice Sunday. It's Sunday evening here. It's currently 8 p.m. in Moscow. It's minus 6.2 degrees outside. I have my handy temperature gauge. That's the temperature inside the kitchen, and that's outside on the window ledge. I have a little like temperature recorder out there, just letting us know what the temperature is inside and outside. So what I might do is I might see if we can share this into a couple of Facebook groups and see if we can get anybody else in the chat. If anybody wants to ask any questions, or I know this is a bit radical, but if anybody wants to come live onto the chat with me, we could share the link to this chat. And if you've got a phone and a camera and maybe a computer set up, you could come into the chat live and we can talk about cruise ships on a Sunday. My lights are going a bit funny. These are our Christmas lights. They have like different modes, so you'll see them going a little bit funny, let's say. Now let's see if we can pull up the live chat right here, and I'm hoping we can get some people just saying something in the comments so we know that it's working and people are here. Again, I'm doing this very unscheduled and unscripted. I'm sorry if you didn't make a plan to be here, or you did. Let's see, live chat. Live chat about cruise ships. Let's share this. I think my photo won't be amazing for the thumbnail, but it's going to be there and it's going to be up. So, oh yeah, it's not the best picture. I should have re-smiled, shouldn't I, when I click the share? But it's okay. So yeah. So I hope everybody's enjoying their day. I wonder if anybody has any cruises booked. I wonder where your cruises are heading to. I wonder at the moment if anybody is a bit concerned with everything going on, with all of the cancellations of some of the cruise lines, not all of them, and also some of the extra procedures in place to go on a cruise. I know that's obviously on a lot of people's minds. You know what I mean? The thing is, at the moment, you know, where we live, or where I live here, or in Australia, or US, Canada, England, a lot of places do have restrictions in place because of these variants that are around. And we're having to kind of live with the rules of the local town or city where we are, what we have to follow. So going on a cruise, I guess, is no real difference. I mean, of course, the biggest thing is that you're in a confined space. I think a lot of people have that concern. I wonder how people are, kind of dealing with that. I guess a lot of people are what's called rolling with the punches, I guess. And, I mean, if they're telling you to do this, do that, do this, then I guess that's what you have to do, right? And you can't get away from it sometimes. It's very interesting, from a cruising point of view. Some people are never going to cruise again. Some people want to wait till everything dies down. I mean, I think the way these new variants keep coming out every, I don't know, was it 3 or 6 months? I think we're going to live with this for a little while. I mean, let's say another year or two. This is just my opinion. It has no bearing on everyone else's opinion. So, now I've kind of got the camera set up right in front of me here, and I've got a screen on either side like we had last time. So if you watched the previous live stream, I've actually rearranged it a little bit, but the biggest problem is I'm trying to figure out the audio. So if anyone is watching, please let me know what the audio is like, because I do have a microphone here, but I can't plug it into the phone to get the volume, and it doesn't seem to want to plug into this is my laptop down here. I don't have a home PC, I have a laptop. So what I'm going to have to do is see if I can find a way to plug the audio in from the computer or the laptop to the microphone so that we can get better audio. So, we've got a couple of people right here in the chat. I'm just wondering, I'm going to see if I can share it into a couple of different places to see if we can get a little bit of a chit chat going. Let's pop up here. We've got Michael Hooper and Purvis 1993. Now I know that Purvis has been on the chats before. There we go. That's the first one I can do there. So Michael says, myself and my wife and daughter have a cruise leaving from Galveston. Oh, nice. That was my last ship when I got off back in March of 2021. It seems so long ago. Right, 21, 22, yeah. It'll be 2 years coming up. Your cruise is on the 25th of June. We live in Dallas, so we're driving down on the day of the cruise. Oh, nice, very close. So yeah, this is kind of a big thing about cruising, and it's always asked a lot on cruise groups. I'm sure if you might be part of any cruise groups, especially people flying, they always sort of ask, should we, fly in the morning of the cruise, or should we come in the day before? Now, for me personally, especially if you're going on airlines that may have, known for delays or cancellations or weather delays, depending on where you might be, particularly if we're flying interstate in America, weather delays can factor in a lot. So if you were to fly in the morning of the cruise and something happened, your window of joining the ship, prior to 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. narrows down a whole lot. So I'm not sure how far the drive is from Dallas to Galveston. I know normally when I've flown out of Houston, it's probably a good hour from Houston to Galveston. So I think maybe you can basically drive down, park the car there. There's a few different parking lots, right? I'm sure, Michael, you've maybe looked into it. There's maybe 3 or 4 different parking garages. My accent, sorry. Parking garages right there, very close to the cruise terminal, so it's very handy. A good tip I will give you is, if you are maybe with family, is maybe drop your wife and daughter off at the terminal with with the luggage. Then you go park the car up, and then maybe join them afterwards. Or depending on if you're going to pre-book one of the parking garages, some of them have like a little bus shuttle that runs between the parking garage and the terminal. So maybe look into that ahead of time, which one might be more suitable. There we go, hide. I'm just going to pull up here. If Mr. Cayman is in Grand Cayman. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? Mr. Cayman Vlogs. I'm pretty sure I pulled up your channel. Weren't you in last time's live stream? and I pulled up your channel. I looked at it myself off screen. So actually, what we should do is, shouldn't we, Joe? Should we have a look and see Mr. Cayman Vlogs channel? Mr. Cayman. Let's pull up the. Let me do it this way. Which way are we going to do it? Ooh, like this. Or we're going to do like this. This is my screen share vlogs. Let's have a look at Mr. Cayman Vlogs. Oh, 1.41 subscribers. Very nice. I'm just going to go straight to video, so we just skip that screen right there. But how cool is that? Just before it goes away, he's got the Stingray City as his channel banner. So, Mr. Cayman, how you going? If you want to do a collab, or if you want to come on the live chat together, you're more than welcome. I can share the link of this chat. This live stream. It's via StreamYard, and we could actually come on the video together if you really wanted to. That's up to you, of course. No pressure from anybody. But if anybody wants to, please let me know. Yeah, check out his. Where shall I look? I should look over here, shouldn't I? Traveling with Cayman to the US. Big waves in Georgetown. So he uploaded 22 hours ago 2 videos. 200 views. The best thing about Cayman. Oh, you're making me jealous now. I should be there. I remember now, because I remember seeing it says. That's right, a Honduran seeing snow for the first time. I remember seeing this video here. Oh, there we go. Oh, cool. Oh, and you're posting in community as well. Mr. Cayman, I'll give you a good advice with your community tab. Don't share your videos in your community tab. It's okay to do that, no worries at all. Don't take every advice I give you, but try and alternate up what you do. So one day post a poll, one day post a photograph, and maybe one day post a share of your video. But it doesn't help the algorithm when you post the video shares like this. And another tip, if you really kind of forget or don't want to do it, maybe set aside like Saturday or Sunday and schedule a post for every day of the week, and it'll basically bring up your channel in people's reminder. Oh, check out that fish, by the way. Oh, cool. All right, we're getting a bit sidetracked here, but Mr. Cayman Vlogs, cool channel. We should do like if anyone else has a YouTube channel, we should share them, shouldn't we? I'm just going to pull up my there it is. That's the I Like Cruise Ships Facebook page, and I've just shared my last couple. Did anybody watch any of the cruise newses, by the way? Let's have a look. Let's go through some of the comments. I've got 4 cruises booked beginning June 22 on the Breeze. I pray all the crazy stuff is over by then. I'm not sure everything will be over, but I think a lot of people are going to become a little bit more knowledgeable about what to expect. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is what to expect with, what you have to do with the pre-cruise testing, having to wear a mask in public areas on the ship, the chances that maybe an itinerary is changed during the voyage or during the cruise. Of course, a lot of the islands in the Caribbean are, the events on the islands or in the countries is changing as quickly as the cruise ships are sailing there. So sometimes the ships are getting turned away, or they're having to reroute the itinerary of the ship. So, audio's a little bit rough. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to work on it. I've got the camera down pat, and I've got the screen sharing down pat. And yeah, that was the other news this week, wasn't it? This was it the 14th? Was the 10-year, or 13th, depending on the time difference. 13th was the 10-year anniversary of Concordia, which a lot of people, let's say, do and don't want to remember. Maybe it's obviously for the cruise industry, it was a very, very sad day for it happening. So you'll be on the same ship as Purvis. I wonder if any of your dates line up or not. Yeah, out of Galveston, isn't it the Breeze, the Vista, Breeze and Vista, and Dream? Is that right? Or Breeze and Vista, I think, is the two that are currently out of. And hi back from Grand Cayman. There's 2 people watching, so thanks everybody if you have been watching. If you want to give it a thumbs up, and of course any posting in the comments will be very nice. That German cruise line is making people fly in directly to the cruise. It's about 5 hours from Dallas to Galveston. My uncle lives there, so he'll keep the car at his apartment. That German cruise line. Which German cruise line? There's Disney, Royal Caribbean. Fly directly to the cruises. I'm not sure which one you're talking about with the German cruise. Maybe you can let me know. I think a lot of the cruise lines are basically trying their best to alleviate any issues. Another thing I noticed as well, a couple of the cruise lines that are doing longer voyages, like 9 or 10 or more day cruises, are asking people to do testing at the terminal on arrival before you join the ship. So you'd bring your negative test from 48 hours before the cruise, and then they'll do a secondary testing when you actually arrive at the terminal, which is kind of a good thing, especially for longer cruises. We're driving as well from New Orleans area the day before. We will pre-book parking that has a shuttle to the port door. Right, yeah, so yeah, I know there's 3, 4 or 5 maybe different parking garages. I remember even just walking around. We get off the ship there and walk up to KFC, and if you walked a couple of blocks over from where the ships were and then walk directly past the garages, you'd end up at the main avenue or road where the grocery stores were. There was KFC, there was a CVS, I think Walgreens. Was it Walgreens there? There was a Dollar General as well, and there was even a pawn shop, and a lot of crew members like to go there to look for like cheap bargains, like phones or watches and things like that, electronics. So yeah, Michael D. OKDD, that's an interesting channel name, isn't it? And booked on Wonder of the Seas in December, the new largest cruise ship in the world. Yeah, they're big ships. I haven't worked on Royal Caribbean personally. I have been on Carnival, Holland America, Norwegian Cruise Line, MSC. So yeah, I've not been on a royal ship to work on one. I've got a few friends that work on a few different ones, and the amount of activities the ships offer. And I talked about this a little bit in my last live stream about how Royal Caribbean really focuses their cruises more around the onboard activities and the fact that the ship is a destination versus you're going on a cruise to go to the ports of call to get off the ship. They want to keep you on board as much as possible and doing all the activities, and then going to the private islands as well. So yeah, we're on the June 20, 2022 sailing of the Breeze. Did you mention, Michael, which date you're on? Yeah, I think. June 20. Oh wow, June 25th, and you're on June. So you'll maybe pass each other in the cruise terminal. How crazy is that? That's kind of neat. I did have a question about mail-to-home testing. I saw another YouTuber doing an AMED test, and a photo ID was needed. Are they required procedures for minors? Now, Michael, I'm going to be very, very, very honest. It's probably one of the main things that I'm kind of avoiding, not necessarily talking about, but doing any video about or any website posts about, because of the fact that every cruise line has a different rule, and every cruise line has a slightly different procedure, and the type of test required differs slightly from cruise line to cruise line. And I don't want to give anybody the wrong information, especially the fact that if you make a video about it, like you said, you watch another YouTuber, and you might want to maybe sort of find someone that's being on one of the ships that you're going on, or go into maybe one of the Royal Cruise groups on Facebook and see if you can get, and maybe look up, just do a search in their group of testing requirements. I mean, in Australia, before I flew over here to Russia, we had to get a PCR test 48 hours before flying. So basically it was a matter of just finding a place that offered PCR testing. I prepaid online to go and do it at a clinic, and then they emailed me the results with the certificate that I could print out. And that's as simple as I put that I needed to do. And I see that a lot of people in the US, Australia is only just catching up to doing this home testing and getting mail to home testing kits. Pretty much for Australia, everybody goes to a clinic or to a hospital or to whatever lab they've got set up to do PCR testing if they've got symptoms or if they need it for travel. And that's pretty much it. That's your only option. This rapid antigen tests, RAT testing, is just starting up in the last week or so in Australia, literally. Very little has been talked about it or spoken about it. So I'm going to try and avoid that subject. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm the only one you want to know about. I'm trying to avoid, explaining about it, because I know it's one of the most asked questions in every cruise group on Facebook. But I would probably try. I don't know. Have you joined one of the cruise group for your cruise specifically? So basically, you'd put Wonder of the Seas and then the cruise date, and hopefully, let's actually have a look, shall we? We'll pull up over here on Facebook. Let's just have a look over here. Wonder of the Seas. Oh, nice spelling. Now, if you have a look up here, can you see some of the dates already showing up? So there's a June 5th one right there. Now, Michael, where did you say the date that you're going on the cruise? I think you showed it somewhere there. Wasn't it 25th? 25th of June. Let's see if any come up. We'll just go by groups right here. But actually, there's a Wonder of the Seas social group with 10,000 people in it. In New Orleans, let me just go back and have a look here. Yeah, June 25th. Is it 2022 or 2023? Anyway, you can see here the different cruise groups that you could easily join for Royal, or for Wonder anyway. And you'll see there 7 posts per day, 2 per day. So there's a lot of choices. I'm getting a little bit mixed up with the dates here. And Inya, oh my gosh, can anybody pronounce this last name? Inya Piecagidini. Oh my gosh. Hello, brother. Which cruise ship company hires new crew for the moment in order to start working and cruising? All cruise lines are always hiring. Let's say that. The problem we've got at the moment is there's a lot of crew that are still at home on leave of absence, LOA, or they're on vacation, or they're on work break, or they haven't even returned to ships even after the previous shutdowns of a lot of the cruise lines. And this is the biggest problem. There is a lot of crew members who still haven't gone back to ships because not all ships are up to full manning. And some cruise lines still haven't even got all ships back in service. I know, let's say, Norwegian Cruise Line, actually Carnival, Royal, I think even Holland America, if I'm not mistaken, have ships that are out of service right now. So those ships won't have all of the crew on board, but if they've got a scheduled startup date or return to operations dates, then they'll need the crew on board then. Only thing I can really heavily suggest is to go to wherever you live in what country, and go to a manning agency. Have a look at this picture, by the way, of this someone's cabin right here on Holland, America. Go to the manning agencies and just basically register for employment. That's as simple as what you can do. And then, if there's dates come up, if, they're looking, let's say, for new hire or returning crew members, check out that cabin. Look at that desk over here. How cool is that desk? Right there. Sorry, I know I'm a little bit sidetracked, but Facebook pulls up some great photos in these groups. I'm in a lot of cruise groups, by the way, so and a friend of mine is in Miami. Now, if you ever get a chance and you're in Miami, this is not near the cruise terminals. This is actually at the airport. But a friend of mine is actually probably staying at a hotel, I would imagine, somewhere close by the airport. And they decided to go and get a photo with the cruise funnel. How cool is that? Let's see if we can share one more time. Oh, I should probably get away from the background here. If you want to see the back of house of what I do, this is my group right here. Let's put a post. Sunday live streaming. Come on in and chat about cruising. Have we shared the right picture? Oh, I've got the same crazy photo again. It's okay. We'll just share that how it comes. Not now. We'll share that right there. We maybe get a few more people into the chat. Who knows? So yeah, I hope. Michael? Are you a football fan? I think the playoffs are on this weekend. Or not the playoffs. Isn't it the wild card games were on? I'm very lucky here in Russia that I can get a VPN and pull up other sports. Where is the thing here? And I can pull up other sports, and I've been able to watch. I watched a little bit of the. What was the game that was on? It was the one with the New England was losing like 20-0. Was that this morning or yesterday? And then the Australian Open tennis starts tomorrow, and then before that was some golf on over the weekend from Hawaii. That's a place that you want to take a cruise from. I've got a couple of friends at the moment. One particularly, she's on Princess Cruise Line. She works in the shops, and the ship's currently sailing in Hawaii, and they won't let the crew members off the ship in Hawaii. So they've done the cruise over from, I think they did it from Long Beach. I'm not too sure where their home port was. And they're in Hawaii now, but they can't get off, the crew members. So they're a little bit upset. And then I've actually got a friend who's on Carnival Miracle, which is also in Hawaii right now. And he can't get off the ship either, and they're very upset because I guess maybe they might have thought they could, but the amount of sea days that you have to work, and then you're normally on the first island that you get a chance to walk off the ship, you're so happy. And then they've been told now no crew can get off the ship, and the cruise now has gone like to 10 days, 12 days not being able to get off the ship consecutively. Thanks for the answer. So glad to be with you on board Horizon, right. I remember now. Now I see your photo. Now I'm looking right here at the picture. I was from the housekeeping department due to dry dock in Venice, right. Yeah, we had the dry dock initially. I joined the ship in Marghera, which is the shipyard where the Carnival Horizon was built. So I flew from Moscow to Venice, which was only a 3-hour flight, which was so nice. And then we're in Marghera in the shipyard, which is a town very close to Venice. It's 3 bus stops from Venice. That's how I remember how close it was. You could catch the public bus over there. So it's so normal when you're there, not like going around Venice on a gondola or something. There's a real normal part of the country. And then we actually sailed around to Monfalcone, which is another shipyard where Carnival builds, or Fincantieri builds cruise ships for Carnival. Actually, when we were there was a Costa ship being built. There was the MSC ship, and then there was us, and then there was a part of one of the P&O ships. I think it was a P&O ship that was there. They said at the time when we were in the shipyard there was 8,000 workers in the yard at the same time. 8,000 workers, which is just crazy to think at the same time, right? So, yeah, Michael, definitely get on Facebook and go and have a look for Wonder of the Seas. Or even if you go to Royal Caribbean, there's quite a few different groups. So yeah, I'll just type Royal Caribbean there. I'm just looking out the window. We can see the traffic here from my balcony, and I just saw one ambulance going up the road. We're about 2 streets from the local hospital, so we can always see the ambulances coming and going. The town where we live is about 20,000 people. If you look there, just type Royal Caribbean and go search right here. And if we go to groups, and then you'll see how many groups I'm in right here. There's Royal Caribbean group cruises with 68,000 members. Royal Caribbean cruising with 33,000. Galveston Royal Caribbean Cruises, maybe this is the one you should join. Private group with 19,000. They're all private groups, of course. Royal Caribbean from Australia. Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor Society, which is basically past guests. You can join them anyway. It's not really a big problem with which one you join. Actually, I'm a part of a lot of groups here. Symphony of the Seas, the cruise community, Carnival crew, all crew members, celebrity crew only, cruiseaholics. And you'll see here the blue ones I'm not part of down this side over here, so I'm not part of all of them. So yeah, I hope everyone's either watching this live or watching it on replay kind of enjoys these sort of informal chats. What I did do actually was let's see if we can just share that instead. I did actually put together, where is the share screen? I did actually put together a little list of things that we were going to chat about if nobody was on here live. And one was about Royal and Norwegian Cruise Line cancelling some of the cruises, especially at very short notice as well. It's very kind of crazy, especially if you booked 3 months, 6 months, a year ago, and then you're counting down, and then in less than a week before your cruise they send you an email or some sort of notification that your cruise is cancelled. And you put so much effort into, especially around your maybe time off from work or whatever schedule you have, and you've had to take the time off, and then you're told, sorry, the cruise is not going. Okay, you can get a refund, but maybe you've got you planned parking, you planned a tour somewhere. It's kind of crazy, all these things, and then just for the cruise lines to up and cancel only maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 voyages. Even some of the cruise ships that have been cancelled are only for 2 weeks. So one of the things where people are wondering why they're doing this, obviously the cruise lines are having cases on board, and especially where there's crew members with cases. One thing that the cruise ships have always ever had the issue with is, if something happens, to crew, whether they get sick or injured or something like that, and then you can't work, there isn't anybody else to replace your position. So if, for instance, there's, 5, I don't know, let's say plumbers. Most ships will have 2 or 3 or 4 plumbers. There's carpenters, there's masons, there's all sorts of different positions, but plumbers. And imagine if on a ship with, let's say, 2 plumbers, or 3, and 2 of them get sick, and then they're quarantined, there's nobody else that's a qualified plumber who can work in that person's position. It's not maybe like housekeeping or dining room where people could easily cross over jobs. There isn't another plumber. So, if that person sort of took out of the system, this has also happened on quite a few ships recently where they're not running the shows because 2 or 3 of the entertainers in the show have been quarantined or taken out of service, and the shows can't really run. Or maybe even if the lighting technician or backstage technician has been taken out of the shows, they can sometimes sort of bring in somebody else, or switch out. With the shows, for instance, if the singer's sick, there'll be a backup singer. I forgot what they call that in the theatre industry, but they've got fail safes in place that they can put another person in that role, or they can it's what's called reblocking the show, where they rerun the shows with less dancers, and then the dancers know who is in or out of their position, from time to time. But where a couple of the cruise lines at the moment are calling them quarantine ships. So I know for sure Royal Caribbean has Vision of the Seas, which was sailing around the Bahamas, and then they were taking crew on and off the ship in the private island. I don't think it's been overly announced, but the Carnival Sensation is actually anchored off Galveston, or has been for quite a while, and that's been taking some of the Carnival crew members in and out of the port as well. And at the moment, I think also for Holland America, New Amsterdam is another ship that's got has got some of the crew members on there as well. There we go. That's how far across the way we are. Enya is from Albania. Now, didn't we not, on the Horizon when it was in Europe, we stopped in, where did we stop? Wasn't it in one of the Greece? Which was the stop in Greece we made? And I'm pretty sure I remember getting off the ship and they had ferries that went over to Albania from where we got off the ship in Greece. I remember we just went into town that day. I think we had 2 stops there, if I remember, on 2 different cruises. Brandon's saying, oh, hey Brandon. Brandon's saying San Francisco is requiring boosters now. So I guess is that for all people in the town or city, or maybe for cruises as well? There is, it hasn't come up yet, but I think cruise lines may eventually put that as part of the requirements of testing, that the boosters may be required, or, especially if you have been immunized, that you may have to show that. For Australia, it's most of the, like Pfizer and is 2 shots, and then the booster would be the 3rd shot. I know in America there's the Johnson & Johnson one is only 1 shot, and the second one is a booster. So yeah, it's, the thing with America, sorry to say this, but you've got 50 states and then you've got kind of 50 rules, and this is slowly happening a little bit in Australia. We've got the federal government that makes very specific laws and rules and guidelines, particularly where they've opened and closed the borders, and then each state of Australia then has a premier, which is kind of the head of the state of each. From Perth, where I'm from, Western Australia, and the Premier of Western Australia then can make state laws. I mean, let's say prior to all of this going on 2 years ago, it was never a big factor that, when there's a law, it's a law across the country, whereas at the moment in Australia, where one state has a higher infection rate and one has lower, the rules for the borders and the airports. Perth, for instance, where I live, the airport is still closed and the border is still closed to cross between states. There's police guarding the borders, and then the airport, you have to have a what's called a GTG, good to go pass, to enter the state. And then if you're unvaccinated, you have to go to a 14-day hotel quarantine. And then at the moment, that's pretty much standard in WA. And as of the 5th of February, they're relaxing some of the rules where you can do home quarantine. And you've got testing on arrival. And I think it's testing on the, I forgot how they said it, the third day, the 6th day, the 10th day. And then you can then be released from the quarantine. So Brandon's asking, have you gotten any return date? I kind of have. But at the moment, I'm still here in Russia. Again, this is my kitchen right here. And I've got an application in for my Russian residency because I'm married here in Russia, which would give me a 3-year renewable residency visa for Russia. And I can then travel to and from Russia basically directly to a ship. At the moment with my visa, the one that I've currently got sort of is kind of expired, but I can stay here indefinitely while I'm waiting for the next visa. So as soon as I get my Russian visa, I'm good to go. I just need to literally send an email to the Home Office. I'm already in contact almost, not daily, but weekly with the HR or human resources for the company I work for. So they're basically just waiting for me to, they want me back on the horizon even as soon as last week in Italy. The ship will be back in Miami on the 19th, for 3 more days. It's sailing across now after getting repaired in Italy. Melody says it's called an understudy, right, an understudy. I thought on ships it's called something else, but I'm sure you're right that, yeah, so the cast on the ships, I know for instance the Carnival ships, they've got the main singers, male and female singers, and then they have the dancers, and then they have adage, which is the ones that do the kind of the fancy dances, and then they'll have the understudies, who are basically like a backup singer for the male or female position or whatever show they've got. And they can then step into that role. They would not do their dancing role, but they do the singing role. And then depending on the cruise ship, if they can or can't sing, I know that sounds funny, they may play a backing track of that singer and then they kind of mime it, which is a little bit weird. I know for Carnival ships years ago, they used to have to record a voice track for all the shows. And then back when they had live bands as well, they had the full band. Each of the band's instrument was recorded. So in the event that that person wasn't doing his part or her part, they could put the volume up or down. This was in the past. Now the cruise ships don't really have the live big bands anymore, do they? So, yeah, right. That's what they call the. Oh, by the way, hi Melody. I've got to say hello. Maybe I haven't. There is 4 people in the chat. I can't see if we've got thumbs up or not. I'd love to be able to. I'm just going to switch over to the studio. Is this going to let me see anything? I don't think so. Oh no. Can we do that? I can share the title. I don't want to do that. I guess we can't go to see how many thumbs up we have. That was the bit I wanted to kind of see. Brandon says all cruises must have a booster to disembark. Oh, okay. So all ships that are sailing in and out of San Francisco. So yeah, so ships pretty much that would go from San Fran over to Hawaii, or they do. Not really. There's not too many that go up to Alaska from there, but maybe they're doing the repositioning, or they're doing down to Mexican Riviera. I'm not sure my friend that's on the Princess ship if she was out of San Francisco or not. I know she keeps posting photos of her up on the pool deck and taking photos of the Hawaii from the deck. There are 6 thumbs up. Where can I see that? Oh my gosh, I've got so many screens. This is the thing, when I'm using StreamYard, You don't sort of see the analytics of the chat, which is a bit of a shame. I'm sure somewhere, view on YouTube, I'm sure somewhere it must let you see. Oh, 6 thumbs up. Oh, yeah, okay, it's the same 6. Okay. So, alright, thanks Melody, and for other people that are watching, and if you're watching on replay, I guess you can thumbs up later, I don't know. How can I have so many screens and then I can't see things? It's very crazy. Yeah, let's go on to another topic. If you guys want to ask questions, and I'll sort of jump in over the top. Second testing on longer cruises more than 10 days. Yeah, so this happened on one of the was it one of the Carnival ships or Holland America ships that they gave a letter at very short notice that you'd be tested on arrival at the cruise terminal. And then once you arrive, you basically do like a drive-through testing or in the terminal, and then you'd be able to then board the ship. Even if even if you brought your negative test with you, you'd have to do a second test. But I guess if you're COVID-free, there's so many people I notice in the groups as well, if you are following any cruise groups, that, people are worried about, testing negative. I mean, if you're healthy and you're COVID-free, you're COVID-free. You're not going to just magically test positive even if you have no symptoms. I mean, I'm not a doctor. Please don't back that on me or anything. Okay, so yeah, Carnival out of Charleston, South Carolina. That was the ship, right? I think, wasn't it doing like a 10-day cruise? Was that the one that it was meant to go to Panama Canal and they've changed the itinerary? And then they decided, with being a longer cruise, that they'll introduce a secondary testing. So, and Michael, Brandon asks, does your wife also work on cruise ships? She doesn't. No, she. We met in Thailand 9 or 10 years ago now. 10 years ago, a long time ago now. And she never worked on cruise ships. It would make a lot of sense that that's how my life panned out, but we met on holiday in Thailand when I was there, she was there, and yeah, and I ended up coming over here to meet her a year later, and then I've made trips back and forward ever since. And then kind of this year now, we were actually in Australia together for a year and a half up until 4 months ago. And then we both flew back here and we moved into this apartment. Funny thing is, this is the same building where we were living previously. So we'd actually moved out and then we rented in the same building, one level down from where we used to live. So literally we're on the 10th level right here. And then we were living on the 11th level before. We're about how far are we? 45 minutes from Moscow. Not too far to get into Moscow. At the moment with the winter though, it's not ideal. But I can walk to the nearest bus stop, catch a bus that takes me on the main highway up to the nearest metro station or subway or metro. What do you call them? Subway stations, metro stations. So yeah, we did talk about her coming on ships. Because she works in a nail salon here in Moscow, and of course on cruise ships they've got beauty salons or salons on board, and she did sort of look into it. It was quite a bit of you could send off your resume to the companies, and then you could join the ships. She has got all the certificates, all the trainings. She always just worries about her English a little bit, so which for me is no problems, but changes to cruise. Yeah, next thing I want to talk about here, changes to cruises due to ports closing. Yeah, so at the moment there's obviously a few different ports of call. Mr. Cayman there earlier on, if you're still here, Cayman is closed, let's say, right now. Key West is another one. Actually, that's the next point right below there. I should have read that, shouldn't I? Key West and Grand Cayman are still closed. I know a couple of ships have called at Key West for medical debarkations. I know Grand Turk is now back reopened, and then also Carnival's now letting the Mardi Gras there as well, because they had to dredge the harbour a little bit more for bigger ships. So yeah, interesting. Now, actually, what we might do a minute, I'm going to actually... Oh, this is kind of interesting. Even though there's only 3 of us here, but that's okay. We should have lots more than 3, but we don't. Let's go to screen share. Where's this button? Share. Share screen. Okay, this one right here. And let's go to... Where is this one? Let's give it a second. And now, let's just choose this one. Is this going to pull up? Yep, there it is. And I was kind of hoping to get the screenshot of the live of it going to 8888. Now, if you're maybe suspicious, what's the word? When you're superstitious, that 88888 is good luck in a lot of places. So maybe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I Like Cruise Ships, you can jump for me past or you could be maybe the 888th lucky person. If you, especially in Asian culture and Chinese culture, the 88888 is kind of the lucky number that a lot of people like, and then it's also like the lucky number for betting as well, the 8. I was just waiting for this to turn to 88888, but maybe it's not going to do that, so it's okay. No worries. What can I do? I don't know. Melody says, I would like a cruise to nowhere. Went on a cruise in December, just got off one out of 2 ports. Okay, so you went on a cruise. Okay, so I would like to cruise to nowhere. Yeah, there's a lot of people who like sea days, and there's even people who do cruise and don't get off in the ports. I mean, that's very known. I mean, actually, even the cruise lines have a look at the statistics of how many people are on board the ship or off board in the ports, and particularly if you look at it right about lunchtime. And for instance, let's say the Horizon, which was 4,300 passengers, there could be as few as 300 or 400 guests on the ship at lunchtime on a port day, and 4,000 guests off the ship. So it's, there is a small percentage of people who don't want to get off, don't plan to get off, are happy to do port days. Port days are when the ship's in port. Sea days are at sea. They come, obviously on Carnival they call them fun days at sea, but they're sea days. Day at sea, obviously, because the ship's sailing. Cruises to nowhere. I mean, actually, interestingly, not necessarily going on a cruise and not getting off, but there is some ports of call, particularly when ships come out as a new build. They may have cruises to nowhere set up, or even where the ship's does repositionings to another port. Like, let's say, I think this is the Sunrise or Sunshine, went up to Charleston, and it comes a few days ahead of its main first cruise. It may do a 3-day cruise to nowhere to catch up the dates. With a lot of the cruise lines having private islands in the Bahamas, they can actually do a 3-day cruise and basically leave the port, sail overnight to their private island, and then sail back the next overnight and get back to Miami to end a 3-day cruise. Because the distances are only, literally a few hundred miles. so they can actually do they don't need to have to do a cruise to nowhere anymore. They can actually go to their own private island and dock. It's very interesting how many people don't get off. And if you've been, say you're doing a 7-day cruise and you end up at Cozumel and you've done Cozumel 5 times before, maybe on that 6th time you don't want to get off in the port, and it's not something that you plan to do. And that's really a personal thing, right? I mean, it's also the spa would be more empty as well if you're going to go to the gym. For sure, Lido Deck for lunch would be emptier. I know, like when I don't get off on some of the port days, I go up for lunch on Lido Deck. Staff can go up there for lunch, and there's no one up there. You know what I mean? There's no lines at any of the food, like the buffet stations, I guess they call them. So. Brandon said, I met you on board a few years ago and I had no idea you had a channel until after I got off. What were your most recent ships? Yeah, I was on my last cruise contract was on Carnival, which is out of Galveston. And then I did essentially 2 contracts on Carnival Horizon from when they launched the ship in the shipyard. And then we did the Europe itinerary, did over to New York, and then I went home and came back and rejoined the ship in Miami and did the Miami itineraries. The thing was, I filmed so many videos on Carnival Horizon. If you actually ever look through the playlist, I might just even just pull that up because it's kind of... 8887. We've got one more subscriber. So... what we should do? I'm gonna stay a little bit longer. Let's see if we can share this into where is these big groups? Where's this one? Let's see if we can get a few more people in here and see if we can jump this number. Look, there's Holland America's private island right there. Let's go to the other screen so we can see that bigger. This is someone else's. I love looking at other people's photos, by the way. I feel like you're kind of Facebook stalking them, but how cool is that photo with the blur on their camera there? Creme brulee. You guys like creme brulee? Yeah, this is the private island. That's a pretty cool photo. Guess we don't want to share it into anybody's crazy group and then they're going to ban me or anything, but... where are we? This is in Australia at the moment because of there's a lot of scare about food shortages, and this is actually in in one of the supermarkets. This is actually in a Russian group that I'm a part of, and all the pasta is empty on the shelves. The shop manager's probably really happy about that. It's not like a sad thing, Do you guys know that on Holland America ships, in the elevators, I think Royal Caribbean do it also, that they change the carpet each day so you know what day of the week it is when you take a cruise and you're forgotten what days of the week it is. Let's go to... feel like chatting about cruising. I still got this link, I do. Oh, and it's still the same crazy photo. Melody says that the grocery stores are like that in Tennessee because of the snow. Yeah, I'm in Moscow here, and there is no problems with supermarkets being empty with the snow. It's actually it's not snowing now, is it? No, it's not. It's cold enough to snow, but it's the supermarkets here are very full and very stocked. I've actually got a couple of videos on the cruise channel that show 8887. I think I should do one of those live streams that doesn't end until we get to 10,000 or something. We go to playlists. see if we can find my Russian videos. These are in the I Like Cruise Ships YouTube channel, by the way. I made a few different videos here. The busiest McDonald's in the world is in Moscow in Pushkin Square. I did one of a food market, Russia's largest shopping center. This is actually my local Rynak. They call it Rynak. It's like a food hall, but it's like little shops inside. You have to watch the video really. But there's like a cheese lady, there's a bread lady, a milk lady, a fruit and veg lady. Yeah, you'll actually see that the supermarkets, this one is actually, this one is actually my local, the one that I've got here, shopping in 2019, I did a couple of years ago. That's my local market where I am in Moscow here, so plenty of chances to see videos in Moscow on the channel if you want to. I was a little bit torn with this because I didn't want to change the channels too much, because I Like Cruise Ships is about cruise ships, right? And I didn't want to jump over to, vlogging with me in it, because maybe people didn't want to see that. And I do watch a lot of stuff about the economy of YouTube and how it's set up, and it tells you not to change your niche too much because people just won't watch. People don't want to watch other things on your channel that's not cruise related if it's about cruise ships. So Melody's hoping to get to go on her first Alaskan cruise this year. Yeah, wasn't all of last year that the ships didn't go to Alaska? Is it this year they're now looking at the first season back? Yeah, the Alaska, I mean, it's very weird. I mean, the people up in Alaska where the ships go to, so Juneau, Ketchikan, Skagway, they at different points, especially the local governments there, put a lot of restrictions on the cruisers coming and docking, and then they wanted to put a higher port tax per person arriving, and the cruise lines sort of said, you know what, we're bringing enough economy to the ports, you know what I mean, please, accept us for how we are, and don't penalize us by just putting up the fees too high that we'd have to put the cruise prices up so much. So there's a kind of like a big for and against cruising in Alaska. I mean, especially people that are involved in the tourism, they're obviously heavily reliant on cruise tourism, and then people going on the ferry trips and whale watching and things like that, and the glacier tours. But yet then there's the local politicians who don't want their towns and their cities ruined by tourism and bringing too many people to the town every day. I'll give you, this is a good example with Charleston, South Carolina as well. There's still a lot of people that live very local to where the ship docks there, who don't like the ships still coming to Charleston because it causes extra traffic. There's too many people out on the weekends at the markets, because people are in town those few days. And there's people who don't, just don't like, the extra people coming to the port, so I was asking when the Horizon, one friend has just replied there, he's on board Carnival Horizon, and he said that the ship's still scheduled to arrive on the 19th. I'm actually in the cruise group that's sailing on that cruise. So, check that out. Ensenada. Well, that's a cool photo of the Radiance there in Ensenada. That's the cruise terminal right there. Was that taken from another ship, I guess? Can't wait. It's supposed to be there on the 25th. That's a very cool photo of the port. So Melody. So you're saying that you think that maybe the Alaska season might be cancelled entirely again. I guess. I guess it's the thing. The cruise lines put a lot of effort into going there. The amount of excursions they plan around. The forward planning, getting even the ship's deliveries up there to Seattle or to Vancouver or wherever they're going to do their loading. There's a lot of effort put into the seasonal itineraries like that, especially even, for instance, the comedians have to fly into sort of one of the random ports to get on to do the weekly comedy shows. There's a lot of logistics about Alaska as well, so the cruise lines don't really want to have to cancel a week before. They want to know that they can or can't go for sure, Well, Brandon says he's going on his first cruise in Alaska on May 31st. That's kind of cool. Oh, you guys have got lots of cruises booked, and crossing my fingers for my first Italian cruise next year. So the ships are currently sailing in Europe. They did initially start off by doing, I guess they call them closed loop cruises. I don't like this word, where they were doing like Italian itineraries with only Italians, and then they opened it up to other countries. And then here and there, some ports, I think it was Marseille was one of them in France, where they stopped the ships coming in. Europe is beautiful. Italian ports, you also try and get where you've got those longer stays, so 7 or 8 or 9 p.m. at night stays in port, because you're going to have some nice the day when you can go to see Pisa. Isn't it Livorno? Is it the one for Pisa? And then I know I did the one where I went over to Capri on the ferry. Just with Europe, especially the itineraries, just plan that it's long days. It does tire you out like you won't believe. You'll get back to the ship after a port day. You'll be struggling to have some dinner, and then you'll want to just pass out to wake up the next day. I know even for me working, the shops are closed in port. So every port we were docked, I was getting off the ship. And, literally if I knew the ship was docking at 7 a.m., I was ready at 6:45. I was at the gangway ready to get off, to try to maximize my whole day. And as crew, I wouldn't necessarily do some of the passenger tours or excursions. I'd go and do my own thing. But we'd sort of have a little bit of planning, so we'd know what the train schedules were, or we'd know how far it is from where the port is to the nearest bus or train station. Definitely, I would try and do yourself a little bit of investigating. What do you call that? A little bit of research, a bit of Googling about the ports that you're going to stop at, and then know what's there and maybe how far things are as well. Because on the day when you go to Rome, for instance, it's a good couple of hours by bus. I know we took the train to Rome and back, and it's not quick port days, where you get off, go and do something and get back on the ship. Also, it's a lot of sightseeing and a lot of either buses or train rides. It's not a taxi to the beach and throw a towel down like you do in Cozumel or Cayman or Jamaica. So I hope you get to go. I guess everybody's kind of on a little bit tender hooks about when they can and can't go on their cruise. Have we gone to 88888? Not yet. If anyone's got a second YouTube account, Jane's in the chat. Jane Warner says Yun FYL. Is that fun, I wonder? Or is that some sort of strange wording that I need to decipher? Anyway, hi Jane, how you going? Hope you're liking the chat. The Italy cruise is for my mum's foremost. She always wanted to go to Italy. Yeah, I think it's just on a lot of people's bucket lists, the itineraries. I could easily fly back there and do a week, just even train hopping around or bus hopping. I think trains are the easiest in Italy. I think on my phone I've still got the train app, the Train Italia app, which told us the train schedules. We got local SIM cards when we were there as well from Vodafone, so we had basically our phones would work with internet and things like that while we're off in the ports. Oh, have a look, 88888. I'm going to have to screenshot it because it's kind of cool. Sorry, everybody. Let's just crop that a little and copy. So we have it saved. It's going to go down, I think. This live goes up and down. We need more than 5 people in the chat. Oh, where is the link now? I won't know where the link is to the chat. Oh my gosh. Let's go to YouTube. There is that. Oh, look, the picture's a little bit better. Copy link. Shall we go to one of the crazy big groups? I don't think anybody is gonna want the chat. Where are we? Want to talk ship. Oh, it's not. It's my very bad picture again. So live right now. I think we won't get a share, but you never know. A lot of these have to go to moderators for approval, so they don't always come up straight away. So, should we have a look at other people's photos on Facebook? There's somebody on New Amsterdam there. That's kind of neat. Let's see if we've got another group somewhere here. Let's scroll down. See all of that. No. Guess where I am? Is that one of the Spirit class Carnival ships? Yeah, Pride or Legend somebody's put there. They got the roof closed on the pool. I've got any more cruise photos to look at. That's not so interesting. I'm in a lot of old cruise ship groups as well, by the way. So, yeah, I love to see the old cruise liners. What's that one? There's somebody else's photo there. You do feel like you're Facebook stalking people a little bit by following people, but me going on a cruise. Alright, let's go back to live as it happens and see if we get frozen away from the 888 number. Where is the live? Let's go to that one. And let's jump to this one right here. There we go. It's going to go up or down, so let's see what happens. Scott, how you going, Scott? Somebody new in the chat. We have a few people here and a couple of different comments. Did Carnival take away suite benefits, priority check-in, first to disembark, and what about Faster to Fun? I know Faster to Fun is not being offered right now. They will probably eventually bring it back. You know what? I know before I left 2 years ago, there was a bit of a thing, particularly on social media, where Carnival basically allowed you to pay, if you weren't a suite guest or Diamond or Platinum, you could pay a fee to have Faster to Fun, which gave you the priority boarding and then the luggage to your room quicker and things like that. And then people were upset that too many people were taking advantage of that system, and people who had benefits from being a past cruiser, didn't see the benefits. Right, and I can see both points of view. I mean, obviously, from a revenue point of view, the cruise line realized they could make money by giving those fastest to fun benefits. And then, on the other hand, then you kind of spoil the next person's, kind of loyalty to the cruise line. So if you've done 5 or 10 or 20 cruises, that you've kind of earned those benefits. I mean, for me personally, the cruise lines could do a lot better at embracing past guests, and giving them features and benefits that the next person doesn't necessarily get. I think Carnival as a cruise line is going to get stuck a little bit in the next year or two. I know they've been talking about it for years, that they're going to re-evaluate it, and it will upset people who get basically diluted down in their benefits. But particularly guests that have done 10, 20, 30 cruises need to have that next level of benefits. So yeah, I know that they've the fastest of the fun things they've took away temporarily. It's actually been nearly 2 years temporarily now. They still do have the priority check-in and things like that. Yeah, I know that when you book the cruise, you get a link to be able to do your check-in online. I think it's a day or two earlier. I'm not sure exactly, maybe 1 or 2 days earlier. Then the next lot of cruise then can then do the check-in, and then the times of your check-in, then you've got a priority to do the check-in process, I guess. If that makes sense. 8888 live. I should be looking at this screen. I'm looking here and then looking over here. Sorry. My wife told me when I was setting this up, so this desk is in the kitchen always, that I need to get a permanent camera set up, so that I can just live stream very easily. I should really get one of those just normal webcams. I'm really wanting to get the volume and the sound set up, because in here it echoes a lot. We have like the wood flooring, and I brought some carpet in here because we've got right behind me like a sofa right here. So in Russia, everyone has a sofa in their kitchen, by the way. So oh, congratulations. Oh, thanks. Yeah, so it's still stuck there. I think it's a good thing, right? It's like I'm going to keep it as my good luck live. Ryan Tube. Ooh, I wonder if you've got a YouTube channel, Ryan Tube. I go on Anthem of the Seas, April 12, 2022. Yeah, what are we on? That's 3 months? Yeah, 3 months. Oh, 3 months exactly. That's crazy. So yeah, I hope it sails. I mean, I don't want the cruise industry to shut down. I don't. I mean, I enjoy working on ships. I worked on them a lot of years, 21 years. I worked on them, and I don't want cruises to shut down personally. I think they have to kind of take the precautions and the measures to keep the ships sailing. So where they've had to take a few ships out of service to let the crew basically get back to full manning, and using these quarantine ships. I've watched a couple of other YouTubers recently to see how they're doing their lives and how they're doing their cruise news, and they're very more very more they call it clickbaiting, where they they sensationalize the stories of what's happening, and it's not really like that as much in real life. Ada is a very big commenter on the YouTube channel. Thanks, Ada. Well, you got a photo there as well. That's cool. Hi Russell. That's me, of course. Did I introduce myself at the beginning? Yeah, my first name is Russell. Oh my gosh. Let's, what we should do? Now, Ryan Tube, do you have a YouTube channel? Ryan Tube, you must do. HD. Let's see, Ryan Tube, are you famous? Oh, 45 subscribers. Oh, and you got a cruise video. Nice. You got a few of them. Oh, from Norwegian Encore. Oh, you do, is it Roblox? Roblox? You've done like Roblox videos about the cruise ships, New Amsterdam elevator tour. How cool is that? That's very, very cool. This, so these are some of these. They call them shorts. If you guys aren't into YouTube or not, anything under 60 seconds. It has to be vertical format, not horizontal. They can come up as shorts. Oh, New Year's horn on Royal Caribbean ship. That's kind of cool, Ryan Tube. Let's see what you've got written. Oh, you need to fill out your about section of your page. You've got no about section. And you don't put them into playlists. Oh, okay. No worries. Okay, Ryan Tube, you're kind of famous. Everyone can jump over to Ryan Tube. We're still on 888, so I'm still lucky for now. EB Bud. Meals included on board. Yeah, pretty much. I kind of laugh about it, but yeah, almost every cruise line meals are included as part of the cruise fare. So you've got main dining room meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, midnight buffet, depending on the timing of midnight buffet. Then pretty much every cruise line has kind of a pool deck. On Carnival they call it Lido deck, Lido deck. They've got like a buffet, and then depending on the cruise lines, they may have supplementary dining, which is probably most famous on Norwegian Cruise Line, where they've got dining rooms where you've got an additional fee to pay. And then they may even have a no-fee option. So, if, for instance, on Norwegian Cruise Line, you go to La Bistro, which is a French restaurant, they may have I'm not sure the fee on La Bistro, it's $25 a person. Carnival also has the steakhouse as well, $555. So yeah, meals are included on board in terms of the standard dining, and then the Lido restaurants. On Carnival have also got Guy Fieri's Guy's Burgers, and then they've got Pig and Anchor, which is their brewhouse restaurant, which you can get food as well. So yeah, in general, food is free on board or included, and then you've just got supplementary dining, which is extra to the cost of your cruise. Scott says, thanks, on Carnival Horizon from Miami, June 8th. Oh, okay, so you're counting down. So I guess you're maybe following that the ship is on its way back from Miami, back from Italy. Should we check where it's at? You guys know Cruise Mapper? Go to Cruise Mapper. And then these are all the ships sailing in the world right now. Right here. Check out all those ships. We'll zoom in a little bit over here in the Caribbean. Now, I wonder if you can notice this one right here. This is Carnival Horizon. So if you actually unselect all, and then just choose Carnival, you'll see that's the Horizon right there. Estimated arrival on January 19. It's going to do its first cruise on the 22nd. And it's doing 21 knots, gentle breeze, rough seas. Yeah, Gibraltar to Miami was its destination and arrival, and that's all the other ships at the moment. Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier there about Carnival using one of the ships as a quarantine ship, and that's Sensation right there. So I'm pretty sure all of the Galveston ships, yeah, they're all in the middle here. So Vista and Breeze are just passing each other. That'll be kind of cool. I wonder how far away they are. And there's the Valor there, and then Dream. They're all in the middle of the Gulf. And what's that? Gloria's in New Orleans. Yeah, so the other two Carnival ships are over here. So yeah, that's the Miracle in Hawaii. Am I going too fast for everybody? And then you've got in Dubai, you've got the Splendor and the Spirit. So one's at sea, one's in port in Dubai right there by the big famous Palm Island. You can see the cruise port right there. Hope that's not going too fast for everybody. Ada, I worked on Pride. I actually was on the Pride when they built the ship. I brought out the Pride from Helsinki, Finland, and the Legend, or the Legend. Yeah, I brought out the Pride and the Legend from Finland. I joined the ship at the yard prior to its commissioning, I guess. The actual Pride sailed empty. It was one of the ships that Carnival basically built in Europe, and then they sailed empty across to Port Canaveral was the Pride. And actually I remember well because the godmother was an astronaut. It was a female astronaut that's the godmother of the Carnival Pride in Port Canaveral. And that's the trip of the Horizon right there, you can see. Let's go back to this little one over here. We'll select all, and you can see there's a couple of ships going across. They do the trip there from Europe to the Caribbean. LA Explorer 2. And then Amadia, Phoenix Horizon. That's one of the older ships there. There's Ada Sol, Ada Morova. There you go, there's a few ships. It's the only one in the whole Atlantic right there, the Horizon. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Oh, Emerald Princess in Hawaii. In Jamaica, sorry. There are other ships in Hawaii. Yeah, the Miracle. Where's my friend's princess ship? Has she sailed back? Yeah, there it is, Grand Princess. It's already sailing back to the US. Yeah, I think it may be out of Long Beach, I think. Where is it? Right there. So yeah, Grand Princess. Yeah, if you've not been on this website before, it's called cruisemapper.com. So it just shows cruise lines, obviously. It's definitely very interesting to see the ships where they are around the world. So it shows ferries and different things as well. So there's not necessarily only cruise ships. Oh, Bear Bull Cruising. Hey Russell and g'day. G'day. It's Bear Bull Cruising from Northern California. My God. Now, Bear Bull, were you under a tsunami watch? Wasn't there in Tonga? They had a tsunami, underwater volcano eruption, and I'm pretty sure that there were certain parts of California that was under tsunami watch, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder if you. I saw on the news they were like, run to higher ground, get away from the ocean and things like that. 88888. If you're watching, we're still on 888. I was waiting for this moment, so I should make sure it's definitely screen captured so I don't lose it. No, let's go like that. Where is this one? We'll just go to this one right here, then we can save it for sure. There you go, it's downloaded for me, so I know I've got it now. Judy Gareva. Hi, I've just stepped in for support, but football is my love. Go Steelers, I liked, and I'll catch the replay sometime. LOL, thank you for all you do in the name of cruising. Oh, thank you, Judy. That's very nice of you to say that. I've done a couple of these cruise news or daily cruise news videos. They've actually got good responses. I got one sort of very strange, interesting comment about that they didn't like it. But I always sort of go by how many views I get, and if it's obviously a lot of views, then I know I'm doing a good thing. So yeah, I think there's another game tonight, isn't it? Now is one of the games on, and then there's a Monday Night Football. I wanted to watch the Tampa Bay one. I don't know when that one was, because I like Tom Brady. I think everybody hates him, but I like him. I think he's, one of the, like they say, GOATs. like Roger Federer, GOAT, greatest of all time. And I just like the fact that he was able to change teams, and Gronkowski came with him, and he won again. Keeps winning. So, Ada says it's her. Oh, with Dr. E. What's good morning? What's Dr. E's thing? Good morning. Good morning. I know it's good morning. He does like the announcement every morning on the PA system. His name's Everson. Everson. Oh my god, I can't remember his last name. Everson. Oh, anyway, I don't know his last name, but very nice guy. It's quite interesting with a lot of cruise directors. They're very busy in what they do, and not necessarily that they interact with people in the shops. But Everson was one of the crew members that I'd, meet and greet in the crew areas. He'd even stop for a quick chat, or if we're in the elevator, talk about whatever's going on. Not all cruise directors are like that, where they've got that time to share with any crew member on the ship, in the crew mess, in the staff mess. And he, cherishes what other crew members do on the cruise ships for a job, knowing that everybody's job is important, if that makes sense. And not every cruise director takes it that way. It's like, oh, I'm the cruise director and this is my job, and you're that guy doing that job, and this girl doing this good job. And Dr. E. Obviously, a lot of cruise lines come up with this kind of like slogan of their name tries to be remembering, So Everson. Oh man, I'm gonna not remember his last name forever now. I love that marine traffic app. I have that on my... Oh, you have it on your phone. Yeah, it's very cool. There is a few different ones that you can use. This one's kind of very cool because it's very cruise ship related. There is also marine traffic as well, but this one's got like all crazy amounts of ships on here. So we pull this one up if it's going to open. As amazing as I'd like.